I've never worked with Tyler Perry. The way that relationship came about was, firstly, Daniel was making the call because he was mad because he thought Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey was trying to steal his movie from him.
Well, we've already talked quite a bit about Diddy's rumored secret parties, his shady connections with Pastor T.D. Jakes, and even the alleged mistreatment of women. But now, Monique is turning the spotlight on Tyler Perry and T.D. Jakes, claiming they might actually be even worse than Diddy. She's ready to talk about being blackballed by Perry and Oprah, and she's exposing some heavy allegations, like Perry allegedly forcing and sacrificing young black men in Hollywood. And if that wasn't enough, there's the $1 million donation Perry supposedly gave to T.D. Jakes to keep everything quiet. This is going to be a wild ride, so sit back, buckle up, and get ready. Things are about to get real. Monique is taking aim at Hollywood's biggest players, Tyler Perry and T.D. Jakes, exposing what she claims are hidden layers beneath their polished, inspirational images. While Perry and Jakes are often celebrated for their influence and success, Monique suggests there's more to their stories, hinting at a world of power plays and decisions that might not align with the uplifting personas they portray. And then there's Diddy, who isn't just in the headlines for his music empire. Monique implies there's a darker side to his story as well. The root of Monique's conflict with Hollywood powerhouses, especially Perry and Oprah, traces back to the 2009 Oscar campaign for Precious. Monique, already juggling a comedy tour, a talk show, and her family, decided not to promote the film for free at the Cannes Film Festival. She had given her performance, and for her, that was enough. In a conversation with Oprah, she said plainly, "I've done my part." The two agreed to disagree on the matter, but the industry backlash was swift. In 2015, Monique publicly revealed that she had been blackballed by what she called the Hollywood elite: Lee Daniels, Tyler Perry, and Oprah Winfrey. Daniels quickly responded, suggesting that Monique's demands during Precious strained her relationships with influential figures, casting her as difficult to work with. But Monique didn't hold back, especially when addressing the incident during a comedy set at the Apollo, where she clarified her stance. "So no, I was not blackballed. I was whiteballed by some black people who had no balls. Thank you, Mr. Lee Daniels, thank you, thank you. When you are not paying me equally, you are not treating me fairly, so y'all can suck my, if I had one." Back in 2009, Monique made a decision that would shake her career. She declined to join the press tour for Precious, a film co-produced by Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry, because they expected her to promote it for free. She was already balancing a packed schedule and desperately needed a break, so when they offered no compensation, she opted out. To her, it seemed reasonable, but Hollywood didn't see it that way. Almost immediately, she found herself with a reputation for being difficult and uncooperative. Despite winning an Oscar for her powerful role in Precious, whispers circulated, branding her as trouble in the industry. In the years that followed, Monique sensed something was working against her in Hollywood, and her suspicions were confirmed when director Lee Daniels, a former ally, admitted that she had been blackballed for not playing the game. Adding to her resentment was an incident with Oprah that felt like a personal betrayal. Oprah, who had previously been close to Monique, invited Monique's estranged brother on her show to discuss the abuse Monique had suffered in her youth, a painful chapter of her life she wasn't ready to publicly revisit. Oprah did so without Monique's consent, reopening old wounds. When Monique confronted her, Oprah offered no apology. The fallout didn't stop there. At the 2010 Oscars, when Monique won her award, she chose not to mention director Lee Daniels in her acceptance speech. Instead, she made a statement. "First, I would like to thank the Academy for showing that it can be about the performance and not the politics." That subtle jab was enough to ignite a 13-year feud between her and Daniels. During that time, Daniels, who initially had big roles in mind for her, opted instead to cast Oprah and Taraji P. Henson in projects he had once envisioned Monique leading. Monique's rift with Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry is deeper than professional disagreements. It's personal, especially when it comes to Oprah. Years ago, Monique publicly shared the painful history of being assaulted by her older brother as a child, a wound that took years to process and recover from. Oprah, aware of this part of Monique's past, assured her that she would never feature Monique's family, particularly her brother, on her show. But despite this promise, Oprah invited Monique's brother onto her talk show along with other family members to discuss Monique's story, without Monique's consent. This breach of trust left Monique feeling betrayed, and the incident still weighs heavily on her relationship with Oprah. Over the years, Monique has found support in unexpected allies. Donald Glover cast her in 2019, showing he believed in her talent despite the controversies surrounding her. And in 2018, she stood by Roseanne Barr during a public backlash over a racist tweet. Monique's stance is clear. "I will stand for what's right all day long," she says, a philosophy that has often put her at odds with Hollywood's elite. Recently, Monique has chosen to reopen the conversation about her Hollywood fallout. In a viral video expose, she dives deep into the underbelly of the industry, revealing secrets and calling out those she believes have wronged her. She's sparing no one, and in her eyes, Tyler Perry and T.D. Jakes may be as questionable, if not more so, than Diddy. While Diddy's behavior has sparked its own scandals, Monique is suggesting that the influence Perry and Jakes wield may come with its own troubling price. In a candid conversation on Turns Out with T.S. Madison, Monique revisited her feud with Perry and Oprah, calling attention to the moment that sparked it all: her refusal to promote Precious without pay. Refusing to bend to their expectations led to her being labeled difficult and ultimately blackballed. Reflecting on Tyler Perry's role in it all, she expressed her frustration, suggesting that Perry had misled her in a way that felt especially hurtful. She opened up to Madison, saying, "When you ask me how it feels to not hear him speak up, it takes me back. I've seen the Wiz, and that's why I'm so passionate. I'm thankful I have my husband beside me, helping me stay grounded because I know I can be incredibly passionate about this. But it's hard not to get emotional when I feel like someone is scamming us." After over a decade of tension, Tyler Perry finally reached out to Monique. It was a call that many thought would never happen, an attempt to mend fences. Monique shared that during their conversation, Perry admitted his mistakes and even promised to make a public apology for the damage caused by her being blackballed in Hollywood. But Monique, wary after years of conflict, recorded the call. And according to T.S. Madison, she's got the audio to back it all up. Monique didn't keep this revelation to herself. She played the recording for influential figures like Kevin Hart and Reverend Al Sharpton. Reverend Sharpton, in particular, was moved enough to encourage Perry to reconnect with Monique and finally set things right. But Perry, it seems, was initially reluctant. When he did agree to speak with her, he laid down some strict terms. Through one of Monique's friends, Perry relayed that he would meet with her, but only under two conditions. First, that her husband-manager, Sidney Hicks, would be excluded from the conversation, and second, that she would need to apologize to both him and Oprah for the whole blackball situation. Monique shared her frustration, saying, "That was recent. So here I am, remembering when I heard that man say he was wrong and would apologize. And now suddenly it's, I'll meet with you but without your husband, and now you have to apologize to me and Oprah." How does that happen? Oftentimes, when it comes to a black woman speaking up and speaking out, it goes unheard until she dies, she said. Then once she dies, they say, well, she was right, and make a movie about it. Monique didn't hold back as she invoked the names of black women who had stood their ground in Hollywood, only to be sidelined and heartbroken. Eartha Kitt, Hazel Scott, Fannie Lou Hamer, Hattie McDaniel, she listed, driving her point home. All of those women took a stand, and all of them left here heartbroken, unhealthy, looking at a community saying, "Y'all know I'm right, but why won't anybody say anything?" The friction between Monique and Tyler Perry traces back to her decision to refuse additional unpaid promotion for the 2009 film Precious. After landing the Best Supporting Actress Oscar for her role as Mary Lee Johnston in the film, Monique opted out of the rigorous press circuit, choosing instead to prioritize her family and honor the terms of her original contract. She wasn't opposed to supporting the film, she just wasn't willing to do it for free. Here's the full backstory. Monique originally agreed to work on Precious for a modest fee of $50,000, far less than her standard rate, due to her faith in Lee Daniels' vision for the film. This was a small indie project with limited backing, until it made waves at Sundance, earning high praise and turning heads across Hollywood. When Oprah and Tyler Perry signed on as executive producers, the film gained substantial clout and entered the mainstream spotlight. With Oprah and Perry now on board, the stakes were raised, and the production team was eager for Monique to join in on a vigorous campaign trail. But she made her boundaries clear. She wouldn't be promoting the film beyond her contractual obligations, especially without additional pay. So, what I was not going to do was make Hollywood the priority, Monique recalled. She confronted Perry directly about it during a conversation at the Neighborhood Awards, saying, "I'm not in the business of working for free. What I cannot do, Tyler, is work for free." They seemed to reach an understanding, hugging it out, as she put it, and Monique left believing all was well. However, that perceived peace quickly crumbled. Monique's refusal to play by Hollywood's unspoken rules, that big-name projects with powerhouse producers warranted extra support without question, led to her being labeled difficult to work with. Rumors of her alleged attitude spread, marking her as a troublemaker. Perry reportedly didn't just let the rumors simmer. He allegedly told other industry figures, like director David E. Talbert, that Monique was problematic, actively undermining her reputation. Meanwhile, Oprah chose to remain silent. Monique wants everyone to know that despite the friction, she holds no hatred toward Tyler Perry, Oprah, or Lee Daniels. Her stance, she explains, comes from a place of love and respect. She said publicly, "Let me be clear, I love those people. We love those people. My husband and I they're our brothers and sisters." To emphasize her point, she shared a bit of wisdom from her husband. "Mama, we ain't calling nobody out. We're simply calling them up to say, listen, let's make our community better by making it right, not keep running and hiding behind what you consider is your power." However, even with her diplomatic tone, there are whispers that Monique is ready to lay bare some serious secrets. Fans are taking notice, too, pointing out how accusations and rumors around Perry seem to quietly disappear or get swept under the rug. One social media commenter wrote, "Is anyone else concerned about the Tyler Perry allegations? He's godfather to royal children. Feels like this is something to talk about. Seems it's being suppressed, disappeared from view." Another chimed in with a more intense take. "If you all think that Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry are not a part of this cabal, you're hive-mind fools. Monique, Taraji, part of the same cabal, aren't lying. Research. Oprah, Tyler equals sold-out shills for the cabal. Sick of normies thinking they are magical. Nope. Tyler Perry, of course, is no stranger to controversy. He's risen to enormous success, famously starting in Atlanta's theater circuit and breaking into mainstream success with his Medea films and TV series. But his path to the top hasn't been without drama, especially when it comes to how he handles his business. Perry's journey has included some high-profile clashes, even with big players like Oprah, as his ambitions, and perhaps his ego, have grown. After his massive box office success, Perry moved into television with House of Pain, which quickly became a hit. When the time came to negotiate for syndication rights and launch a spin-off, Meet the Browns, Some of Perry's writers saw an opportunity to advocate for union contracts. According to Deadline, Perry didn't react well to these demands. Instead of negotiating, he reportedly fired 4 writers who had pushed for union representation, sparking major industry controversy. Undeterred, Perry reportedly replaced them, saying their roles were replaceable. The Writers Guild of America, WGA, didn't hold back when it came to Tyler Perry, openly challenging him for allegedly stonewalling negotiations and avoiding fair terms for his writers. Things got heated. Perry accused the WGA of orchestrating a smear campaign against him, and in a surprising twist even likened himself to Martin Luther King Jr., comparing his struggle with the WGA to the civil rights icon's legacy. Eventually, though, Perry conceded, striking a deal with the union. He agreed to pay residuals, finally putting his operations on par with major networks, and in the end, acknowledged Dr. King's impact in a somewhat ironic shout-out given the situation. But the controversies around Perry don't end there. Actor Brandon Jay shared an unsettling experience while working on one of Perry's TV series. During filming, Jay was cast as Jeffrey, a character initially written as a high school student dealing with bullying. But, as Jay recounted, things took a sharp turn when Perry arrived on set. "Mr. Perry comes in, everything changes," Jay explained. "We literally run the entire episode for him and he hates it. He says, 'I want Jeffrey to be gay, and he has a crush on his bully.' That's not what I auditioned for." And then, Monique entered the story with her own observations. Just before Perry's film for colored girls was set to premiere, a storm of criticism erupted. Word spread that Perry had allegedly stated a preference for casting only light-skinned actresses in his projects. Monique didn't stay silent. She publicly criticized Perry's choice, calling it sad and disheartening, and tying it to a long-standing issue in the entertainment world. "It's a psychological thing that's been going on for years," she said. For Perry, the backlash was brushed aside. He reportedly laughed off the criticism, saying, "All I've ever done is cross the line." But Monique's call-out may have been the spark that ignited their tension. Now Monique seems ready to go even further. After years of Hollywood ups and downs, she's hinted at exposing some of Perry's more controversial moves behind the scenes. Fans speculate that Monique's revelations might include everything from his casting choices to his alliances with influential industry figures. She's already openly claimed that both Perry and Oprah whiteballed her out of the industry, accusing them of wielding their power to sideline her career. Here's where things take a turn. Monique's potential revelations might go beyond Tyler Perry and extend to other Hollywood power players. Her blunt honesty at the Apollo Theater, where she called out Oprah and director Lee Daniels, might have only scratched the surface. Now, rumors are swirling that Monique could be ready to lift the curtain on more high-profile figures, leaving Hollywood insiders and fans wondering just how deep her grievances go. Some see her as trying to bring genuine accountability to an industry often clouded by secrecy, while others suspect she's seeking attention. And while all of this is catching headlines, some are pointing to prophecies that allegedly predicted this turmoil for major figures like Diddy, Oprah, T.D. Jakes, and Perry himself, suggesting Monique's actions may be part of a broader reckoning. Claims circulating online suggest that T.D. Jakes, the renowned American preacher, has been linked to disturbing activities, allegedly involving inappropriate interactions at parties hosted by Diddy, where powerful figures reportedly engaged with men and young boys. In one viral TikTok video, a woman openly accused Jakes of participating in these events. Public responses have been intense, with one commenter writing, "These guys getting exposed one by one, DJ Envy, Diddy, Tyler Perry, T.D. Jakes, and academics. Who's next?" Beyond social media posts, an even more alarming prophecy has emerged from a YouTube channel called the Master's Voice Prophecy Blog. In a 2022 video, a woman claimed that T.D. Jakes is deeply involved in Freemasonry and a satanic cult. According to her, Jakes has taken secret vows tied to occult practices and is allegedly using his religious influence to lead followers astray. She accuses him of using his platform to spread hidden darkness under the guise of faith, alleging his loyalty lies not with his congregation, but with darker forces. Among the serious claims, she mentioned Jakes engaging in improper relationships involving boys and young men. These accusations have resonated, and some listeners have interpreted Jakes's response as indirect confirmation. One person commented, "I listened to T.D. Jakes's sermon when he did respond. He sounds very guilty of something. To sit up there and say, even if I did do it, all I have to do is repent? Being anointed is one thing, but you allowed Tyler Perry to lay hands on you to deliver you? Insane." If there's any truth to these claims, the impact on Jakes's reputation could be severe. Now, let's dive deeper into Monique's mention of Oprah, because this is where things really start to simmer. It's no secret that Oprah has long been a heavyweight in the entertainment world, with a reputation for wielding considerable influence behind the scenes. So when Monique claims that Oprah played a role in her alleged mistreatment in Hollywood, it adds yet another layer to the already tangled drama that has followed the actress for years. Oprah Winfrey, as we all know, isn't just a talk show icon. She's a bona fide business mogul with a powerful empire that spans television, film, and even publishing. For many in Hollywood, securing Oprah's approval, or conversely, facing her disapproval, can make or break a career. Monique isn't the first to suggest that Oprah has a hand in shaping the careers of those in Hollywood. Behind the glossy red carpets and the carefully curated images of stardom, there are whispers about the power players who pull the strings, deciding who gets the major roles, the lucrative deals, and the prestige. Oprah, with her immense wealth and reach, has undoubtedly been part of these conversations, whether as a supporter or as someone who has the ability to withhold opportunities from those who don't fall in line with her vision. The entertainment industry is a tight-knit, sometimes ruthless business, and figures like Oprah are often viewed as gatekeepers, deciding who rises and who falls. But here's the thing. These are still just Monique's claims. Hollywood, as we know, is a place where stories get twisted, facts are hard to separate from perception, and power struggles play out in public and private spaces. Monique has her side, and it's clear that she's not afraid to air it. While her statements have caused a stir, the other side of the equation, Oprah, Perry, and the others, has yet to be fully heard. As this story continues to unfold, there may be more people stepping forward with their own stories, whether as supporters of Monique or as those offering alternative perspectives on the power plays that dominate the industry. And while Monique's claims about Tyler Perry might seem explosive, there's a certain sense of anticipation about what might come next, especially if these secrets are as devastating as they sound. If the allegations about Diddy's behavior weren't shocking enough, the potential revelations about Perry and the dark side of Hollywood could very well make those look tame in comparison. Adding T.D. Jakes into the mix with his own controversial rumors only deepens the intrigue. It's not just Monique putting the spotlight on these big names. People close to these artists have started speaking out too. Take Gene Deal, for instance. He's P. Diddy's former security, and he had some pretty eye-opening things to say recently. Gene brought up the infamous parties Diddy is known for and seemed genuinely shocked by the presence of T.D. Jakes in that kind of setting. He expressed how uncomfortable he felt, particularly because Jakes, a respected preacher, was part of an environment filled with drugs, alcohol, and reckless behavior. It stood out to him as inappropriate for someone with a spiritual role to be involved in such a scene. Gene even reflected on how party culture has evolved over the years. Back in the 90s and early 2000s, interactions between men were less openly expressed than they are now. Then Gene shifted gears and questioned how T.D. Jakes could truly lead others spiritually when his own life seemed to lack structure. He mentioned something from one of Jakes's books that claimed the preacher's two sons were allegedly connected to the LGBTQ+ community. One of them, according to Gene, was even involved in an incident in a Texas park. Gene couldn't help but bring up the curious relationship between Cassie and Diddy, especially after Cassie admitted she wasn't physically attracted to him, despite their huge age gap. Gene questioned what would make someone stay with someone else if they didn't even feel a genuine physical connection. He even suggested that one possible reason Puff kept Cassie around even though she wasn't into him was because he wanted to keep up the appearance of being straight. Gene hinted that it might have been Diddy's way of hiding his attraction to men, using Cassie as a cover. As always, Gene wasn't afraid to speak his truth. He went on to talk about how people often get used for their money in Hollywood, offering a candid warning about the messy situations that can arise from such relationships. Just Gene being real, as usual. But beyond the drama, there's a darker side to the story. Gene also shed light on disturbing things he's heard about Diddy, like allegations of abuse toward women, including his own mother. Gene recalled conversations with Kirk Burrows, who said he should have seen the signs earlier, especially with how Diddy treated women, and how the situation with Cassie was just another example of a troubling pattern. When Gene first heard about Diddy slapping his mother, he was in complete disbelief. He was like, "Wait, he did what?" It left him stunned for a moment. But Kirk, who was close to Diddy, tried to downplay it, saying he thought Diddy would eventually grow out of it, or that it was just a result of all the personal struggles he was going through. Gene wasn't having it, though. He had to set Kirk straight. Gene then reminded Kirk about a time when Diddy had verbally disrespected his mother. He recalled a moment when they were getting into a limousine and Diddy angrily told his mother to stay out of his expletive business. Gene had told Kirk back then, "Man, you ever talk to your mother like that again? It's gonna be a problem." That's when Gene hit Kirk with the real talk. "Why didn't you tell me he slapped his mother?" Gene was clear. If he had known, he would have dealt with Diddy himself. "If you had told me he slapped his mother, I'd have beaten the expletive out of him," Gene said firmly. Gene is now connecting the dots, revealing that this incident could explain some of Diddy's behavior toward women over the years. According to him, this pattern of disrespect toward his own mother might be the root of how Diddy treats other women. Gene stressed that people need to understand this context when looking at Diddy's actions. And of course, Gene acknowledged that some people might wonder why this is coming out now. He's not just sharing this story for drama. He believes it's crucial for understanding the broader pattern of behavior. And there you have it. If you're interested in more of these celebrity secrets and updates, please like, comment, and subscribe to support us. Our channel is all about sharing the hidden truths and giving an inside look at what's really going on behind the scenes in the celebrity world. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.